This week in gaming and tech news. What have Sony just done? Man, I didn't think from my last video it could get any worse, but video game discs are now dead. Sony are also closing the PS3 and Vita digital stores, and Xbox is testing a way to digitalize physical games. So let's get into it, but first, maybe a little bit cheeky and ask, if you like this content, please like and subscribe, it really helps the channel out. If you hate me, you can always unsubscribe. Okay, so first, I just want to go over that PlayStation will stop releasing games on discs from 2028. This is for first party and third party. But Sony have said that games will still be able to be bought in shops. So guess what? You're just going to be getting a card with a code you redeem, and that's just the physical version of it, I guess. But honestly, Sony's getting so much hate online, and rightfully so. This is terrible for preservation of video games. We don't own anything, and I know you can say technically you don't own anything for a while now, with the end user agreements, but you still had the disc, and now they're taking that away from us, and it does make sense. These companies want even more money, and if everything's digital, they don't have to produce the discs, they send it out to stores. Don't worry about that. If it's all on their store, they can essentially monopolize it, so I don't know how Sony will get away with that, unless they just keep paying the fine, because the money they're making from this makes a difference. And I am a PC gamer, so I haven't really bought a physical game in a long while, but I would still like the option. Like, yeah, mostly, and for my other consoles, I do mostly buy digital, but I don't know, it's always nice, it's like a kid, to get a disc for your birthday or Christmas, and I felt like you actually got something, whereas now, you just get the game online, and it's like, I don't feel like that emotional connection with the game. I do feel like that's lost. This just sucks, man. And honestly, like, Xbox, I think will go the same route. Maybe Nintendo. Nintendo are a bit different, as they have like a lot of diehard collectors, and I know they have pushed the Game Key card, so they might just push that route even more. But Xbox could do something amazing and just say, we're going the disc route, and do their own video of when Sony did it back with the PS4. How you share a game is just giving the disc to a friend. So that could be iconic if they did that themselves. But however, I don't think that's going to happen. Apparently for Project Helix, it will be discless. And also, does it even make sense for Microsoft to add a disc slot when it allows you to make the console a bit cheaper? Probably not though, because they'll just pocket that money. But also too, let's say you're like EA, Ubisoft, are you going to bother making discs for one platform? And it's for Xbox, there's not even the most popular platform. For like the FIFAs, for like the Assassin's Creed games, am I really going to make a disc just for Xbox? I personally wouldn't, but hey. But what also does suck is that Sony have announced an end to the PS3 and PS Vita digital stores starting globally from 2027. So they're pushing the digital route, and then they kill the stores where you can buy the digital games. So you don't even know how long you're going to be able to play these games for now. And I was actually tempted to buy a PS Vita, but I was like, oh, this just came out, so I'm definitely not going to do that now. It just shows that we don't own anything anymore. And we just have to, what can we really do? There is a boycott of PlayStation Plus, but I don't know if that's going to matter. Most players probably won't even realise that they've done this. Like, I'm very in the loop with gaming news, but for like the casual gamer, are they even going to know that Sony have announced this? But yeah, to be fair, it has made like global news on the BBC, and I think it was on CNN in the US, so it's been quite well reported. But Microsoft is like testing a way to digitalize your physical games. The idea is to let Xbox players continue accessing their physical games by granting them the license for the digital versions. What the person has to do is insert the game disc to their console, play for a bit, and then the Xbox uses certain data on the disc to unlock the digital version of the game. It will only work for the Series X and S discs, but not all Xbox One discs. But if you give it away or sell it, you lose the digital version the second someone else starts using the disc. So I'm guessing like there's a code assigned to that disc, and then when it's been assigned to someone else, you just lose it essentially. And yeah, I think that could work quite well. You get the benefits of digital and physical, so that's something good at least, but let's just see if Xbox actually does go forward with this. Next, time for the quickfire. Halo campaign evolved is Steam Deck verified. so it should run quite well on the Steam Deck and maybe and the Steam machine. Google must pay a €4 billion fine for using Android to block rivals. This included requiring Android handset and tablet manufacturers to pre-install the Google Search app and its own web browser Chrome as a condition to allowing them to have access to the Play Store app, and preventing manufacturers from selling any smart devices powered by alternative versions of Android by threatening to refuse them permission to pre-install its apps. Yeah, we're definitely getting a lot more fines now, and we'll just have to see what happens. Speaking of settlements, Krafton settles with Subnautica 2 after the drawn-out dispute over the 250 million payouts. Krafton will pay the bonuses to the studio staff because they managed to reach the milestone and release the game. So yeah, that's good to see and well deserved. The Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory Netflix show is getting a bit of backlash after using AI generative Gene Wilder's voice, who played the original film in 1971. The actor appeared with the consent of his estate following his death in 2016 with the voice replicated by the AI audio firm 11 Labs. While his wife said she was delighted the series celebrates the imagination he brought to the role, some fans have questioned the role and describing it as disrespectful and plastic substitute. My personal take is that if his family around him is fine with it, I don't see a problem. But I guess you could see the problem of using AI, and yeah, it could be quite robotic and disrespectful for the amazing performance he had in the original. But I don't think this is going to be the end of it. I think more companies are going to use AI voices so then they don't have to pay real people. So let's just see how this goes. The Virginia county asked all employees, including schools, to conserve power due to AI-driven electricity price hikes, stating the 400 plus data centers steadily are increasing demand, grid expansion and pricing. So yeah, man, we are honestly so cooked. I guess, is it a valid excuse then? I can't do my homework because I don't want to use electricity so that data centers could run. I am quite lucky I live in the UK where it's quite annoying to make data centers and any projects, which has its negatives as well. But man, I can't even imagine. Like, this is just pain. Like, the average civilian is not really benefiting from AI. Just sad to see. Honestly, I don't want to make these negative videos. Like, I feel like my videos are quite negative. Negative news source gets reported mostly. So developers at Ubisoft have gone on strike in response to the publisher's latest round of layoffs. Devs are rightfully unhappy and demanding that the staff not only keep their jobs but that there's job protection of at least 5 years of salary to avoid further layoffs. But honestly, I like in an industry that it requires so much creativity, can you really have that creativity when any second you could just be laid off? So are you really producing your best work when you're having that constant stress? You need to be somewhere where you're free to express yourself, free to show your ambition. I don't think we're at that time at the moment. Meta is adding rate limits and software paywall to its smart glasses. So you're going to have to pay $20 a month for access to AI hardware for glasses you already spent hundreds of dollars on, with the glasses conversation focus feature, which will be limited to 3 hours per month unless you pay the $20 a month premium subscription. And honestly, I just think that it's like so scummy when they have a feature like from a hardware you own behind the paywall. So the feature behind the paywall amplifies the voice of the person you're speaking to so you can hear them better in noisy environments. And the thing is, it doesn't even use Meta's servers, so it doesn't really make sense why it's rate limited, as it runs on the device using the chips inside the glasses that you've already purchased. So it even works when you've turned off the internet as well, so what these companies can get away with. And the thing is, we keep paying, keep giving them more money, and it gets even worse. Anthropic's Fable 5 is returning after weeks of negotiating with the Trump administration. Their miss-off class model is back. Xbox have said it's not reducing game investment even with the amount of layoffs they're doing. And also with the agreement with Xbox and IO Interactive, which would have Xbox publish the developers Project Fantasy, but that deal was terminated. Just because of all the reduction they've been doing, they've said Xbox is just taking a fresh look at where we invest, so we're focusing on our highest priorities. I mean, we are just in like a new financial year, so it does make sense. They want to look good on the books, their stocks have probably got even higher from the layoffs. That's just how it is. Also, something a bit weird is that the ESA claims that private microservers are illegal and it's piracy. That during the California State Senate hearing over the Protect Our Games Act from Stop Killing Games. So the assembler, Chris Ward, was questioned by the committee about how feasible it would be to keep games running on private servers if official support concluded. Ward noted that both Minecraft and Call of Duty utilize community servers, meaning it's a solution that already exists in some cases. But then, the ESA's VP of State Government Affairs, Jennifer Gibbons, objected to its claim and said that they're not official sanctioned servers and in fact are illegal. So you know what is also funny is that if they are illegal, why does Minecraft have the jar files to make your own server on their website? Wouldn't that be illegal for them to do? And I guess that's just some shady stuff going on, but hey, that's honestly insane. And when the people who are like debating this don't even understand it, it's just scary times. And finally on this video, Godot, the open source game engine, will not accept AI authorized contributions. We can't trust heavy users of AI to understand their code enough to fix it, which is fair enough. So that's this week's gaming and tech news, and I'll see you in the next one.
Latest gaming and tech news every week. Keeping nerds up to date. Yeah, you know the rest.